Hey everyone, I am here with two amazing teacher leaders from PS9 and Staten Island, New York. Would you both like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Stephanie Bargone. This is my sixth year teaching. I am a fourth grade special ed teacher. I teach ELA and social studies.
Hi, my name is Nicole Hughes. I teach fifth grade social studies and ELA. I'm also the special ed teacher. This is my sixth year at PS9 and my 13th year teaching.
Woo! So our first question is, you all have been at this for about 5 years. And I think we launched when we launched even the first book at PS9. And I thought a really good question, and this is going to be in like the last chapter around implementation of impact teams, and what are a couple of tips that you'd have for teacher teams that are starting to launch the process or wants to refine the impact team process if they already have it going on in their school?
I would say first and foremost is to really be organized. You have a lot of students, and it's so important to make sure you have your checklist and that you're tracking data to go along with all the standards, because the more it seems like a lot of work, but the more you track, your impact protocols are going to come a lot easier because you have all the data right there. But if you don't take track of everything, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to really see where they are, see what the students' needs are, and then the impact you've actually had. So for me, being organized and tracking data is the number one thing.
Yeah, so for me, it's also because we have a lot of different sources of data, right? It's not just how they did on the student work piece, right? You're looking at your diagnostic data, you're looking at all different kinds of evidence to make decisions about what the kids need. So if we don't have a good organizational structure or a way to do this, you can kind of get lost in it.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate that. What's another tip that you have for teams that are really engaged in inquiry?
I think another tip is to think about all the protocols. And I know that we sometimes get stuck on one protocol that we feel really, really comfortable with, really confident in, but there are a lot of protocols to pick from. So I think looking at the list, thinking about how each protocol can benefit you and your students and your classroom, and thinking about when to use them is really wise. So I know the last couple of years, we have are really strong in EAA, but we've been trying micro teaching and check-ins. So one example would be, if you're going to use a check-in, if you have a new team member, you might want to use a check-in to help look at a rubric and how you score student work. Or maybe you want to check in on how a success criteria is. From year to year, success criteria might change, and you might need to revise them collectively as a group. So you can use a check-in to do that together.
We have a lot of different protocols, and I know a lot of you have used the looking at student work protocol. In the new book, we're calling that analysis of evidence, but there's a lot of other kind of evidence that teams could look at. And one specific kind of evidence is video evidence, and we use micro teaching to do that. Why would a team, or why would you all even engage in using micro teaching? How does that help you all?
I personally love micro teaching because it really gives you the opportunity to see how what you're focused on is happening in other classrooms. Where we are, we also do a lot of vertical teams. And so when we do micro teaching, fourth and fifth work a lot together, and we're able to just see how they present it in their room, how the kids respond to it, and then we fill out the template to analyze what we saw, what did the kids take away from it, and then it really gives us a chance to talk and think about what do we want to tweak to do the next video. What did we really like? What do we want to add? What do we want to take away? It's really nice to get to see what everyone does in their work.
What I'm hearing from you, it's this idea of coherence, vertical coherence, by taking some video clips based on what you're teaching, the different topics that you're presenting within a vertical curriculum, that micro teaching can help you all calibrate vertically, so you're sure that you're coherent from grade to grade to grade. Is there another reason why folks might do micro teaching?
I think that was from the teacher perspective, but we can also use micro teaching from the student perspective. Let's say we're looking at the metacognition cycle and we want to talk just about student talk and student voice. We might look at a part of the cycle and listen to how students engage in conversations and how that conversation grows between 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. So we can also use that to look deeply at the student's voice.
So what would be another protocol that you think has supported your own learning? So we've talked about evidence walks, we talked about micro teaching. Is there another protocol that's helped your own learning?
Another protocol that's helped my learning is lesson study. I enjoy lesson studies because you're actually going into another teacher or teacher's rooms and you're really seeing them in action. And I still consider myself a fairly new teacher, especially when I started. It was my first year teaching, and I just love being in the classroom, but also getting to see what others do in their room and then how I can take it to my own room. You know, especially because my first 2 years here, I was in a Horizon class, so I'm a very hands-on person. I love to see things, and then I really have to figure out how to modify it for my own way. And for me, it was just eye-opening, you know, and not only even going into one other room, but getting to go into 3, 4, 5 classrooms. It's
so just this idea of coming together, planning a lesson, teaching it, refining it in between, and getting a chance to see the different perspectives and how your colleagues might see the same learning actually supports you in learning more. Thank you both for meeting with me today. And I'm sure that there's going to be thousands of people that'll learn from you. So thank you.
Thank you. Bye.